I told off my cheating father. Now his new wife is calling me heartless.
She's a hard eater.
What's up, Sally?
I know the title sounds super bad, but hear me out. I, 18 male, am an only child. I live with my mom full time. My parents are divorced. Some quick context. During my entire life, my mom always picked up after me and my dad. They both worked full time, but my mom handled breakfast, lunch, dinner, groceries, cleaning, laundry. What did my dad do? Mow the lawn, shovel snow, fix things like the sink if it ever broke. So not things that happen every day.
It's like he handles the outside, she handles the inside.
Yeah, but the inside things happen like every day. He's doing things that happen
Well,
maybe once a week.
this is how my grandparents live.
Yeah, but that's a different time. I feel like it's,
They still live this way.
well, I know, but they're different generations.
Yeah, but he's always in the garden, always. But yeah, okay.
By the way,
Are they cool with it?
I presumably not, seeing as he has a new wife.
Oh boy.
By the way, this comes from Throwaway Pasta Error. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Riley.
And OP says, when I was younger, I always loved my dad because he would do fun things with me. Take me to sports games, play with me in the yard sometimes, buy me McDonald's or ice cream. He was the fun parent, and my mom was the caring one. She always made me food, helped me in school, packed my bags, comforted me when I was sad, and took care of me when I was sick. When I got older, I started to realize more and more how much my mom did. Well, my dad would sit on the couch and watch TV or stuff like that. My mom asked me when I was quite young to help her out with cleaning, etc. And I remember I would get mad at her when she asked. I didn't want to clean, who does? But one day, after she had got annoyed I didn't even pick up after myself, I yelled at her to leave me alone. I was probably like 12, and that day I heard her cry in the bathroom afterwards.
Oh, at least he knows how much that made her feel.
Yeah. When I realized I made her cry, it clicked in my head that she was doing everything for us, and Dad did barely anything. And I did absolutely nothing at all. Well, I think that you have like this parental figure that is modeling to you that it's okay that you do nothing. And it's like, yeah, this is the woman's job, so it's fine if you just watch TV and play games. And you need a figure in your house to show you that
What's
everyone
up,
chips
yeah.
in. It felt like I grew up super quickly over the course of a week, and I started helping my mom a lot more. It became a bonding thing for us, talking and helping each other out with cleaning and groceries, etc.
Aww.
It's really cute. My dad was still the fun parent, would take me to games and all that, but I grew more and more annoyed that he didn't help out at all. I think when I was like 14, I once said to his face that he never helps out around the house, and he got furious with me, yelled in my face, and sent me to my room. My mom comforted me and told me to just let him be. You and I got this alone anyway. The few times he was dragged into helping, he would always make a mess somehow, and it would end in an argument with him and Mom. I've realized now he most likely did a bad job on purpose so we wouldn't ask him for help. When I was 15, Mom found out that Dad cheated.
Oh, gosh.
He had been for like a year. There's no redeeming qualities to this guy. Yikes.
You don't help out, just watch TV.
And he cheats.
If you I watch YouTube, but I also produce YouTube, and I make sure that I put out content. He's not even doing that.
Nope. They had the biggest fight ever. And my dad left us that night to live with his mistress and her daughter from a previous marriage. He came a few days after and picked most of his stuff up. I don't remember much how the divorce went, other than my mom being a wreck. When it was finalized, she honestly broke down even more. I fed her, helped her into the shower, held her at night. I've never seen her that bad, and if I didn't hate my dad for what he had done in general, I started absolutely despising him for what he did to my mom.
Ugh.
That is a really tough situation to be put in as a 15-year-old, where you have to kind of be the father figure
Yeah.
for your own mother, or like the husband figure for your own mother.
Yeah. That supporting
Yeah.
person.
Family from my mom's side would help us too, but it was mostly me, since no one could really move in and stay with us full time. I picked up a job at 16 to help at home. It took my mom maybe half a year to start going back to her old self. She grew up to be better, happier, and I had never seen her so full of life when she was with Dad. A month or two after the divorce was over, my dad started pushing for me to live with him 50% of the time. I told him to F off, basically. But Mom said I shouldn't shut him out completely. So I went to him every other weekend. He tried to be all nice to me, and so did his mistress, but I hated their guts. The mistress, let's call her Hannah, tried to be nice to me, but also boss me around, and I basically ignored her. She has a daughter from a previous marriage who tried to bond with me, but I ignored her too. Barely even a year after the divorce was over, Hannah got pregnant.
Oh, gosh.
Wow. And they had another daughter. Dad and Hannah have tried to push for me to be a big brother for them, but I couldn't care about them less. Now I'm 18 and I gradually stopped going to my dad's. I barely ever stay at night. I just visit, and my dad keeps trying to blame my mom for it. Hannah gives me more and more attitude and tries to use her daughters to guilt me into staying over, saying, they miss their big brother. You're so selfish. Wow, that's really not the way to get what you want there.
Wow, that's really going to help bond this family together. Bonding over guilt. Great.
Insult him.
Beautiful.
Perfect. We had a big confrontation when I visited last. I stayed for 20 minutes before Hannah started to lecture me. So I just started leaving.
Bro knows what free will is.
Yeah, OP's like, wait, I actually don't have to stay here. Bye. Dad blocked my way and told me I have to grow up and leave the past in the past. It's not the past, though. You're actively sucking right now. And also, you never seemingly apologized for any of the behaviors from the past. He said I can't be mad forever, and I'm acting as if I don't love him, and we're all family. That just set me off. I started screaming at him that I haven't loved him in years.
Dang.
I told him that he was always a lazy POS who acted more like a child than a husband to my mom. She always cleaned up after him, cleaned the house alone, washed his clothes, made him food, fetched him another adult soda, even though the kitchen was 5 steps away. But all that ever came out of his mouth was complaints and demands.
Oh my gosh.
OP is reading him.
Also, this is a really bad time to bring this up, but one of my favorite things is whenever Angie brings me a LaCroix from her parents' house and it's really cold.
Well, that's different. You guys show each other. Yeah, that's not this.
I do things for her.
Yeah, you do things for her all the time.
But
in this situation, he's demanding things and never does anything.
But it is nice. It really is nice.
It really is nice. I told him.
Oh, so that makes me point out she does a lot of nice things for you.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay,
Yeah.
I feel less bad now.
Yeah.
Because I was like, dude, sometimes Angie gets me a drink from the
but
fridge.
you do stuff in exchange. That's
You're right.
the point.
You're right. I try to braid her hair.
Yeah. When I go over to my friend's house.
Oh, get over it. In a month, this will come out. Say it.
Yeah. Hopefully at this point.
Say it when you go to your boyfriend's
It's
house.
not okay. It's not, hopefully
This is coming out in a month, okay?
I hope he's my boyfriend by then.
You can just say it. Just say it.
No,
Manifest it.
Manifest. No, I can't because that'd be so embarrassing if he wasn't.
We're not talking as if it was
Anyway.
September 5th.
Yeah,
this
we're
is
talking. Yeah.
like October 5th.
Anyway, hopefully at this time he's my boyfriend. Anyway, whenever I go over to his house, he always makes me food. Yeah, he's like, "Do you want a snack?" And then he comes out and he like toasts really nice bread. And like he mashed up avocado and like cut up this like really fresh tomato and like had like olive oil. And I was like, damn.
I do that to Angie.
Yeah. I was
Every
like,
time she
this is
comes
a nice
over.
snack.
That is a nice snack. He
I was
cooks
like, I thought
really
you were gonna
good.
he's such a good cook.
I need to work on that.
I told him he took me out to do fun things, sure, but that's not all there is to being a dad. He was never there for me, helped me in school, drove me anywhere, or picked me up, comforted me. And then he did the worst possible thing. After years of standing on my mother's back and using her, he went and effed a random woman and absolutely broke her. Yeah. I mean, I think OP needed to say this.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, it's not ideal that he's, like, screaming all of this, but, you know, he's 18. His dad has been pushing this relationship that OP clearly doesn't want to have anymore. And, you know, sometimes it just all comes out.
If the dad wanted to have an actually genuine relationship, he should have said he was sorry, said it was crappy, and I don't know, at least owned up to what he did.
Yeah. I screamed about how a kid had to pick up the pieces of his own mother because his father was such a POS and useless garbage. I felt nothing for him. In fact, I hated his guts still, and I hated his mistress too. I turned to Hannah and told her that she means nothing to me. She has no authority over me. I don't give a crap about her or her kids. I told them both I wish nothing bad at their daughters, but Hannah is a horrible person for filling her kids' heads with lies about how I am their brother when I've repeatedly told them I'm not. Then I looked my dad in the eyes and said, my father passed away to me years ago, and that man wasn't even a good dad. You're just a stranger to me. I pushed my way past him and left.
Oh,
Dang.
that was a
OP
movie
needed
scene.
to get that off his chest.
Let's write a script, dude.
Jeez, yeah,
Oh
write
my
a script about your
gosh.
life story. I hope your dad was just like, I'm just imagining the dad being like,
Yeah. He definitely sat down later that day and
He
started
was
thinking about what you said.
wow.
Oh.
He's never going to forget that.
Do you think the dad could come back from this?
There is a way, but it
Okay.
requires a lot of therapy, self-reflection,
Mm-hmm.
apologies, and just like,
Do you think he'd have to divorce Hannah?
probably. I don't know if it, well, you know what? I think Hannah would, well, kind of, because Hannah is a problem too. Because she's the one who's kind of spewing that filth at OP.
Yeah.
But I don't think that he could do that. And also, I think he would be a little bit the a-hole for divorcing this, woman.
But
that
he's an
he got
a-hole to
a
Hannah,
kid.
not to
Yeah, not to
OP.
OP.
So there is one way.
Yeah.
But father,
But you'd become an a-hole in a new way to your daughters.
yeah, but you've already chose your path here.
Yeah. When I got home, I told my mom everything and cried. She hugged me and told me she understands my emotions but wishes I wasn't so aggressive for my own sake. My mom has never said a bad thing about my dad despite everything, and when I would curse him out, she always told me it wasn't worth it. My dad and his new family were silent for a few days, but then Hannah started bombarding me with texts about how I was a horrible son and my dad hasn't stopped crying since. Good. Finally, he gets, a feel for how OP's mom was going, what she was going through.
He gets it.
I know he always wanted a son and wanted a close bond, but he's failed me as a father and I don't care. But family from Hannah's side I've met, like once or not at all, have also started messaging me saying I was out of line and everyone makes mistakes.
Block.
Yeah, I'd be like,
buddy,
who are you?
buddy,
Do I know
buddy.
you? But I don't think it's a mistake. I genuinely think my dad's a POS, and I don't know him anything. But I guess all the hate from so many people has me doubting myself. Maybe I should have just left without a word. So yeah, am I the a-hole? And there is an update, but I think I've already said it. It's like, yeah, maybe not the best move, but sometimes you can't stop that. And
Yeah,
you're young.
Justified a-hole.
I agree.
Justified.
I agree.
You did an a-hole move, but everyone can't. You have
Yeah.
to be an a-hole sometimes.
Yeah, you can't.
You have to.
You can't just keep all of that in. I don't think it would be healthy for you to keep that in.
No. Could you have written a letter and said everything? Yes, and you wouldn't be the a-hole in that scenario, but justified a-hole.
I agree. Update. I know it hasn't been long since I posted, but I quickly got so many not the a-hole and people who agreed with me that I acted pretty fast. I wrote out a long text to my dad that looks like this.
Okay.
Hey Dad, I know what I said yesterday was very harsh, but I'm not apologizing for it. Growing up, you made it clear what a partner and a husband shouldn't be. Even though Mom and you worked the same hours, you were always entitled to your alone time and your rest while she was left to pick up after the whole family. I realized at a young age that Mom needed help, and every time I picked up your old socks or put your dishes away, I got more and more annoyed at what a lazy POS you are. A 12-year-old did more housework than his father. Let that sink in. You went and did fun things with me. I acknowledge and did appreciate that, but that's not all there is to be a parent. I needed you other times when I was sick, sad, stressed, needed help with homework, or even just talking to you. I know you always wanted a good father and son bond, but we never actually talked. Not small talk, proper conversations. I honestly feel like you don't even know who I truly am. But when I went to you with anything, you told me to go to Mom because you had a long day at work. I hope for your new daughter's sake that you start picking up your crap after yourself. I can't stand Hannah, but I somehow also hope she doesn't get stuck in the loop of scrubbing your back and holding your spoon when you eat, never allowed to ask for a favor and rest. You need to tell her to get her family to stop pestering me about this, or I'm blocking you all, you included. Hannah has no authority over me, and I have no respect for her because she slept with a married man. She also is not entitled to a relationship with me. I've always tried to be polite but not welcoming because I don't see her as anything other than your mistress. She needs to get that through her head. And like I said, I will never wish anything bad onto her daughters, but I am not their family. You filling their head with that BS is only causing them harm. Get that through your head. Yeah.
He's
Hope he
about
really-
to smoke.
Hope he's really hammering this in. There's a little bit more.
Okay.
If you're unhappy in your marriage, you either try to work it out, go to therapy, or split on whatever terms. You don't cheat on your partner like a dirt pickle. It doesn't matter how you felt for Hannah and mom at the time. You should have split with mom before pursuing Hannah. I'm effing 18 years old, and even I know that. If the texts don't stop today, I'm blocking every last one of you. I'm already blocking Hannah's family, but I'm keeping you and her unblocked for whatever reason. This is not me forgiving you. I don't think we can work through this, because we can't. I'm not visiting you for a while, and if I ever want to again, it will be on my terms. This is not up for negotiation, and again, if you try to pressure me or guilt trip me, I will literally just never speak to you again. I hope you go to therapy and get fully torn down so you can build yourself up to be someone worthy of respect. Because right now, you're not. Now leave me alone.
Oh.
But you should never leave us alone, because you can listen to full stories with episodes just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. Oof.
Boom.
Oof. Wow. Ooh-wee. You just...
Right for the throat.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, you got the letter you wanted, Riley.
Fair. Yeah, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that.
Set your boundaries, man.
You have to.
You gotta.
Yes, you were aggressive, but you have to be.
You weren't lying.
If I saw my mom crying
Yeah.
for years about a man that just wasn't worth a hill of beans.
I'd hate him too.
Gosh.
There's a little bit left, though. After like 3 or 4 hours, Dad responded, I understand, and nothing else. The random texts have stopped. I don't know. I sort of feel free, but also sad. I'm not burning the bridge fully, but I'm also done with their BS. So yeah, that's where I stand right now. Thanks for listening. OP, you're going to be sad because this is really tough. You've had to cut off this. I mean, like, again, I think it's the thing of you're not mourning the relationship you had with your dad. You're mourning the desire for a good relationship with a father figure.
Yeah.
And you've never really, I mean, you've had it to some extent because he does seem like he was, the fun parent for a time.
Parent, took you to games.
But eventually you realize that like the fun parent isn't the parent who's there for you and like stepping out for you. But that's the end of that story.
Yeah.
And we've got another one coming right up.
My mother disapproves of my fiance and it's ruining everything.
What don't you like?
Trigger warning for emotional abuse. For some quick background information, my mom, 55 female, and I, 25 female, were in a pretty bad car accident in Georgia in 2019 that gave her traumatic brain injury and damaged her frontal lobe, decision making, emotional regulation, and logical thinking. Oh, I had an uncle like this. It took him a while to get back around, but it was tough.
It's tough because I mean, like, you can't really fault them because it's not them.
She moved to Arizona about 6 months later, was doing fine. Then the vid hit and she was made homeless. I was in college at the time and in no position to up and leave, so we helped my younger brother, 20 male at the time, move out to Arizona to help her. Ugh.
That's tough on him.
By the way, this comes from Deny the Patriarchy, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. Fast forward 4 years, and it's been a series of disasters for them. I have helped where I can, but they basically have been royally screwed by individual people, the insurance companies, by advocacy groups, and by mental health faculties. Well, she came to Georgia to visit for the first time since she's left, and is staying for a month.
Okay.
Yay! She doesn't know my fiance, 27 male, very well since we started dating after she had left, and they've only interacted in one family beach trip, which went poorly, and when we moved my brother out west. She hates the fact that his family has different political views than ours. Never mind that he is very aligned to our beliefs, it's his family that's the problem. She also believes that he wants to isolate me from my family in an attempt to become emotionally harmful. Ugh. She thinks that our future children will grow up to be hateful, discriminatory, and that I will end up a battered woman. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, obviously all of this is kind of like, it sucks, but what of this that she's spewing is how she was before, or is this just how she is after the accident? Because I think, like, if she's just a little bit more aggressive post-accident, I think you just gotta treat her like a person, you can't be, I think you can't be, like, so mad at it when you, like, when you know the reasoning, or you just have to, like, focus on, okay, I know why she's acting like this.
And be mad at that rather than her.
Yeah. It's like treating, you have to treat certain people with special needs differently. And this is a special need.
Yeah.
So it's like, how
Ugh.
do we
I think
address or help those?
those, and how do we protect ourselves?
Yes, absolutely. Because
Yeah.
you can't just let her spew all of that and take it. Like, that's not the solution either. It's figuring out what the balance is.
She has her own trauma, and I know that any aggression, perceived or real, is hard for her to handle. During a discussion, my fiance made a comment how his mom had said she wanted to put me in a home if she were ever unable to take care of herself. And my mom flew off the handle in rage about how he wanted to put her in a home and how he was attacking an older, disabled woman. The fight ended badly with her walking out of the house, swearing that she would leave and never come back. She screamed hateful things about my fiance, about me, and about how I was re-traumatized by not defending her against him. That was yesterday, and after talking to my best friend and my work family, I'm realizing that I need to establish some boundaries with my mother. It hurts me. It hurts him. It hurts the relationship between my mom and I when she screams insults him and about me. She keeps saying she won't make me choose between them, but if I want to be with him, my family will hate him forever and will never even be in the same room as him or his family again. Yikes. Has anyone ever been in a situation where they had to contemplate cutting ties with a parent? I don't want to cut her out, but she is causing me so much stress, and she's actively driving a wedge in my relationship with my fiance. Am I just being a young, naive girl in love, or does this behavior seem irrational? Yes, I know she has a brain injury and is already irrational to some degree, but this seems like way more than that. To anyone else? My family is small, just me, my mom, and my younger brother at this point, and I feel like I'm in an impossible situation where I either lose my fiance or I lose my mom and my brother. Literally, any advice is appreciated. I won't be on Reddit unless I was desperate. We have an update 6 days later.
Well, I think you know that she's acting irrationally. I
Mhm.
think you already said it. I think that this isn't, I mean, like, to your question of, like, oh, is this even more, not just the brain injury? I think it is the brain injury. She probably has some worries that are just coming from herself.
Yeah.
But it's, like, all, like, intensified 10 times because of this brain injury. I'm assuming, obviously, I'm not her doctor, but it does seem like if this is a change that you've noticed.
As a woman doctor, I'm going to have to agree with that.
Well, woman doctor right here.
This woman is acting more irrational than most women.
Dang it. Dang it.
This is so sad, and
Yeah, it's tricky.
it's very tricky, 'cause how do you protect yourself from her words,
Well, I think,
but then also have a relationship with her and your fiance at the same time, like in the same room?
I think you just got to keep having your relationship with your fiance and kind of take your mom's words with a grain of salt. And also maybe
Yeah.
speak to her doctors a little bit more.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see what OP does. Gosh. Update. I, 25 female, have been engaged to my fiance, 27 fit male, for just over 2 years, and we have dated for nearly 3 years before he proposed. We set a wedding date back when we got engaged, but postponed it because my family was going through a rough patch, and it didn't feel right at the time. We are now aiming for April 2025. Venue is booked and everything. I'm a kindergartner teacher working on my master's with no plans for kids in the next 5 years, which he supports. He's an electrical engineer, also getting his master's, and disagrees with his family's beliefs. She visited for a month, and it ended horribly. Me driving her to the airport 2 weeks early. Now she swears she'll never come back to his state or be in the same room as my fiance or his family. Well, while she was here, I didn't get a chance to tell her that we were planning to go through with the wedding. Things are booked, etc. I fully intend to, but with all the fighting and turmoil, I didn't have a chance. Now my fiance and his family are asking questions about where we are at in the wedding planning process, and I'm really torn about how to answer. On the one hand, we could reschedule the entire thing, and I could work with my mom to get her to agree to come. On the other hand, we could go through with the wedding, and I would have exactly 0 family members present.
Oh, what about your brother? He can't come?
He's taking care of the mom.
Yeah. I think if it is really important to you that your mom comes, which, I mean, I imagine it would be, then, maybe take that time, see if you can change her mind, try everything in your power to do that. And then at the end of the day, if you can't, you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is really tough.
I'm not sure. I want to keep postponing the wedding because she's not ready for me to get married yet. So would I be the a-hole if I do go through with it?
I don't think so.
You debatably be an a-hole to your mom, but is that worth
Yeah.
anything to you?
Yeah, I think it's just like, you have to ask yourself, how much do I want my mom there? Have I done everything that I'm willing to do to get her there? And if the answer is yes, then yeah, I'll have the wedding. It's just like weighing how much you want her versus how much, how much energy you've already expended.
So we got to edit to add. My mom does have a TBI, which affects her emotional regulation. She has had the TBI since before I started dating my fiance. So he's never met her beforehand. Despite the brain injury, she swears that she's just being perfectly reasonable. And that's how an older woman who has dated a lot more than I, just the one, that I should trust her implicitly and leave him. Info everyone has been asking, so here are some of the warning signs she saw. He wouldn't leave me alone with her while she was here visiting. She's referring to the fact that while we would talk in the evenings, he was always in the room because we talked in the living room of the small house we live in. Never mind that he literally stayed out of the house for 2 days so we can hang out together, just mom and I. He does not encourage a strong bond between my mom and I. She means that he has not pushed me to go visit my mom and my brother across the country, even when they needed help. My reasoning is that I don't actually want to go across the country very often, so even when he asks me if I want to, the answer is usually no. He's attracted to the same gender and is using me as a beard.
Yikes.
Oh, she was referring to the fact that years ago, before we started dating, I made an offhand comment about how people thought that the newer server might be gay. Server, okay.
Like a bar.
Okay. We worked in a restaurant with lots of liberal college kids, and straight people were the minority. So we were kind of assumed everyone was LGBTQ+, unless told otherwise. Gay until proven straight.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I was obviously wrong, as we have been together for 5 years with no issues in the bedroom and many conversations about the facets of spicy relatedly. So she thinks he's gay.
Yeah, see, that's why she's being irrational.
Oh,
You're like,
man.
Mom, no, I can tell you he's not.
Dude,
Kind of confirm that.
you know how if I knew this and I thought my future mother-in-law knew this, I would toy with her so much.
And yeah, you'd be like, that man is so cute.
Just like a little offhanded comment, like, oh, he's hot. Or I'd like do a certain laugh that she might think, or I'll go like, tee, or like something
You
like
already
that.
do that.
Not, that's whenever I'm making a bit. Like, it would have to be a little convincing. Dude, one time, my great-grandpa's wife, she was like, Riley, I just want to let you know, like, it's just so sad seeing that all these people are gay and stuff. And all this stuff. And I was so close. She probably would have believed me. That's why I didn't do it. I was so close to being like, Grandmommy, I got something to tell you. I wanted to so bad. But I was like, she probably would believe me.
Yeah.
I better not.
I better not test it.
Oh, man. Okay, so he encouraged me to lie to her. I lied about going to a trip to Puerto Rico entirely by my own choice. And despite multiple warnings by him and my best friend that it would end poorly, it did end poorly. And she does not trust me anymore, which is a separate issue. But again, my choice to lie. He actively told me it was a bad idea, and I didn't listen. Consistence, not the a-hole. We have some comments by OP. Anything else on the mom? Same thing?
Same thing. Yeah. You just gotta set up those boundaries for yourself.
Yeah, look out for yourself, girl. Literally no one else has any concerns about him. My best friend actually lived with us for 3 years while we were dating and then engaged. And she only ever has good things to say about him. I've known her since middle school. I know her family well, and I fully trust her to tell me if I'm being an idiot or need to dump his butt. Plus, his parents are very rational and haven't raised any red flags, even going so far as to invite me and my fiance to their beach house for a week and a half. None of my coworkers, who have all met him repeatedly, have any concerns. It's just my mom and my brother, who have actually only been in his presence for less than 2 months total. She actually has only met his mom and brother once on a family beach trip 4 years ago. The trip was awkward, but nothing that should linger this long. She's basing most of her assumptions on the fact that they're from a small town in South Carolina and he's the first to be college educated in his family. Update 2. Dude, I knew that was kind of the vibe here.
Well, yeah, no, she's clearly like
He lives in
making
Georgia.
a lot of assumptions about him that are we already know aren't true. And then coupled with the fact that like she probably has already, she's got a lot of these preconceptions about who this guy is. And then she's had this traumatic brain injury. So it's like not a great combo.
I bet you $10.5 million that these parents have a beach house in Myrtle Beach on the north side.
I believe you. I'll believe you.
Yep. And that the dad has a family business that went really well. That's why they have the beach house. They probably rent it out sometimes. The mom is a very sweet person that knows how to make good sweet tea and cornbread. And is probably a teacher or a receptionist.
I buy it.
Or a bookkeeper.
Or a bookkeeper.
Yes. Yes, that's them.
just your dream life.
That? No. It's not that's not my dream. No. My dream wife?
I said dream life.
Oh, dream life. No, that's not my dream life. I'll tell you my dream life.
Yeah.
Is don't tell me I do this. It's like a lawyer. It's like a boss girl of a wife, and I'm the stay-at-home dad. Yeah. And I'm just doing like video stuff on the side.
I love that for you.
That's what I want. And then I have a playground that is half of it is workout equipment, and the other half is playground. So I can do my squats while they're like going down the slide and stuff. Yeah. And we have a bunch of land.
Heck yeah. And also we live on a compound together.
Yes.
Okay, now I'm on board.
Update 2. 1 month later, a little background. We had Live 360 on our phones for years since my mom was a single mom and my brother and I got home from school before she did. It's never been a problem because she checks it for peace of mind, knowing where her kids are. Now she lives across the country with my brother and I'm in a different state. She still looks at my location a lot since I'm not great at answering texts all the time. My mom is in her 50s and I'm 25. My brother is 23. Last Christmas, I turned off my Live 360 because I was going on a trip to Puerto Rico that I knew she wouldn't approve of. I lied about it when my brother asked why I turned it off. My mom caught me in the lie, and it blew up our relationship pretty badly because she felt like she couldn't trust me. I'm well aware that I was the a-hole in that part of the situation. I shouldn't have turned it off, and I definitely shouldn't have lied. However, nearly a year has passed. Our relationship is still very rocky, and recently we are on the outs about my upcoming marriage. She doesn't approve and doesn't want it to happen, but I'm still doing it.
I feel like she is somewhat, again, I don't know how much of this is like brain and how much is her, but it feels like she's still kind of infantilizing OP. Like she sees you as younger than you are and she needs to help you make all of your decisions.
You need an elderly and more mature woman to guide you.
She's like, I know best. Mother knows best, so you gotta listen to me. But there comes a time in every kid's life where they have to tell their parents that I'm an adult now, and I don't need you to be that same kind of controlling figure or like guiding figure. You're still the parent. You're still, they're never gonna not be your parents, and they can always offer advice. Yeah. But there does come a time when they can't tell you what to do. They can only advise you. And I think she's learning that. Hopefully.
I remember whenever my mom would tell me something, it would be a suggestion. Like a friend of mine was like, you don't have to actually do that. It's just a suggestion now because you're in college. Yeah. I was like, oh, what? Interesting. Really? Huh? Crazy. So we can stop taking all those vitamins now?
Yeah. I'm never taking a vitamin again.
She started using my location against me, calling and starting fights whenever I spend my time with soon-to-be in-laws, asking why I'm leaving the house in the evenings or what my plans on the weekends are that require me to drive an hour away from home. My brother texted me a couple of days ago asking me to please turn my location back on so they can know when I'm home. I'm reluctant because I'm still angry and hurt by their words and actions. And it's honestly been pretty freeing to know that my mom can't sabotage my days by calling and starting fights when I leave the house. I know she does look up my location for peace of mind. Remember, brain injury, very emotional, very anxious. I also feel that at 25, in a different state, I should have a certain level of privacy from my mom. She does not need to know my every move.
Yeah. Personally, I share my location with my mom, but she doesn't share hers with me.
I knew you were about to say that.
What's up with that? I always request it. I've requested it multiple times. She just doesn't share. It's messed up.
Messed up, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, she just wants to know where you're
I
at.
just want to know where my mom is at.
Where's my
Where's
mom?
my mommy?
But I did turn it off once before. That ended up causing a huge pile of mistrust and lies. I don't want to do that ever again. So would I be the a-hole if I kept it turned off, or should I do what they want and turn it back on?
I think because you know that she's going to abuse it, keep it off.
Yeah.
They'll get used to it.
And we have an update from 7 months from this last post.
Ooh.
9 months from the original post.
Yeah.
So you're getting closer. I don't know what
close to the
timeline
wedding,
it is,
at
but
least.
yeah, close to the wedding. For some background, my mom and I were decently close growing up, but she moved to Arizona when I was in junior in college, and our communication has suffered a lot. There are other circumstances that have led us here, but the gist is that I don't want to talk all the time. I do not have the social battery to talk to her every single day after school. I'm a kindergartner teacher.
Okay.
I usually,
You're busy.
You know how many other questions you've had to answer that day?
Like how many other like annoying questions this poor woman has to answer every day?
You know how patient you have to be with them kids?
Well, honestly, she's probably the best person to like be in this situation because she probably is a very patient person.
I would debate that.
You think all of her patience is used up?
Yes.
I could see that too.
You would think she had a more patient tolerance, but 2 point. Like, do you like reading stories after work?
I like reading books.
But like, would you read them out loud to me?
If you asked me to,
But would you get tired of that?
probably.
I usually aim for once a week updates and check-ins. I don't even do that. I do like every other week.
With your mom? I call my mom and my dad almost every day.
That's crazy.
Yeah. At least multiple times a week.
Every day I'm sorry. I got a lot in a day. However,
Busy man.
my mom is a very social person and has a hard time understanding how I can care about her when I don't talk to her. She says it feels like I'm ignoring her, that I don't care enough about her life, and that this isn't a healthy relationship. She says that I should be able to communicate more regularly with people that I love. I am stuck and struggling with how to move forward because the fact is, she is draining. Our phone calls are several hours long.
Dang. My phone calls with my mom are like 5-10 minutes. My phone calls with my dad are longer, but my mom and I, it's usually like, what do we need to talk about? Okay. And then my mom goes, okay, well, that seems like all we got to talk about. And then she hangs up.
Your mom's so funny.
So they don't last that long.
My mom's anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour.
Yeah. My dad, we go longer.
So incredibly exhausting. And I don't want to force myself through that just to maintain a relationship with her. Then again, she's my mom, and relationships take work on both sides. Do I make myself suffer with more frequent phone calls, or is it okay not to talk to someone, especially mom, that frequently? Am I missing something about how communication should work between a mother and a daughter? I'm self-diagnosed autistic, and my mom chooses not to believe me because she thinks it's an out for me not to handle things that I should.
That's
update.
classic mom. The classic mom thing. I think it's starting to seem like not all of this is brain injury.
Yeah.
It seems like it's probably exacerbated, but it seems like a lot of this is just controlling mom.
I see what you're saying.
You know?
Best to kind of inch away.
Yeah, I think you keep the contact that you can bear.
Yeah.
You know?
I can't even blame the brother in this scenario because
Yeah.
he's just getting fed from the mom about how bad you are.
Yeah.
And you're the villain. And he's not the villain. So he's like, yeah, whatever you say, mom. Yeah. 6 days from the last update. So, an update. We got married.
Woo! Congrats, OP.
She went through with it. A lot of y'all told me to go through with it. And after a lot of thought, we did. When my mom left in October, we were in a bad place. And we were having a lot of really awful phone calls and screaming fights. I was desperate to do something. And I finally found a therapist who helped me process some of the things that happened between my mom and I and my role in things. So, the months leading up to the wedding, my mom continued to scream at me over the phone and make threats about choosing him or her and how she hoped I wasn't the kind of girl who got rid of her family to please a man who would end up leaving her anyways. She was downright hateful, and I spent a lot of time crying over our relationship because I couldn't believe that it's gotten to this point. Oh, that's so sad.
It's tough.
Girls support girls.
Yeah, it's tough. I think it's good that you're going to therapy, though.
We got married in April, and my mom and brother did not attend. I was able to reconnect with my mom's cousin, who I used to be close with as a child, and she had her family come to the wedding.
Oh, I'm glad you had some family at the wedding. That's really nice.
I had my best friend, her family, and my work family there to support me.
Yay.
Okay, a close friend performed the ceremony. Plus, of course, my husband's family was very supportive. There were times I missed my mom and I wanted to see her smile in the audience, but I was ultimately glad that she wasn't there. I would have felt like I had to perform and cater to her every whim, and I'm so glad I was able to just have a lovely day with all the people who came to celebrate with us. And you can celebrate every single day of your lives for the next 72 days by listening to stories just like this. Go to your favorite podcast platform, search up OK Storytime on iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Apple, and listen to stories just like this one. We have a little bit left here. How do you feel about these boundaries?
I think they were necessary. I think OP was kind of burning herself out and trying to have this relationship with her mom when her mom was so against kind of just any step OP took to have a little bit more autonomy in her life and a little bit more like independence. And so I think she needed to create those boundaries. And I think maybe she could come back around later in life once her mom realizes that her husband's not terrible.
Yeah.
And maybe they could reclaim that relationship, but for now I think this was probably the best.
Agreed.
For both of them.
So, just to reaffirm my feelings about her not being there, my mom did not contact me at all the day of and only called me a week later to ask whether I would be sharing any pictures with her.
Oh.
I did send her a few because I thought a small part of her might care, but all she did was comment about how it looked like a cheap Amazon wedding.
Oh.
She hoped I was happy with my crappy choices and that they were worth the loss of my family.
That's terrible. I'm sorry, OP.
She hit the block button right after this conversation. Yeah. I missed her constantly, despite all her issues, but I haven't cut her off completely. We've been having a hard time communicating at all right now, and I don't know if it'll ever get better. I am happily married, and I don't regret it. Thanks for reading this far, and I appreciate all the kindness and honesty I got from my original post. And that's the end of that story. Dang, OP.
Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. You got this, OP. You got you got a new chosen family.
Yeah.
And I really hope that you can, have a relationship at some point with your mom. But for now, focus on the people that want to support you and uplift you, not the people trying to drag you down.
Yep. Not a crab in a bucket. You're better than a crab in a bucket.
You are better than a crab in a bucket.
We got another story coming up. We're going to grab that right now.
My adoptive mother is neglectful, so I ghosted her.
Ghost of Christmas Past.
So to add some meat to the story, I was adopted when I was 4 years old. I came from a horrendous family, and social services had been intervening for years until eventually myself and my younger half-brother were placed under child protection and separated from my 3 other older siblings. By the way, this comes from Daphne Blue 96, directly from the r/OK Storytime subreddit. And OP says, I was adopted by a recently widowed woman. Her partner was lost in tragic circumstances not much more than a year before she adopted us. Anyhow, it became quite clear very early on that I was going to have a strained relationship with my adoptive mother. I'll refer to her as Mom in the story. She was incredibly controlling beyond the realms of what would be considered normal. I had serious behavioral issues due to years of neglect and abuse, so I really needed a lot of help and attention. The issue in our relationship really started as I was quite independent and I was old enough to have memories of my childhood prior to adoption and asked a lot of questions. My brother, on the other hand, did not. He was quickly selected as the favorite, and the favoritism he benefited from was unbelievable.
Gosh.
Why are you even adopting a child if you're not able to,
unconditionally love them?
Yeah, or just, handle all of the things that they've gone through. I was ignored for the majority of my childhood. My successes were rarely acknowledged. For context, I was a very athletic kid. I was in every sports team at school. I was the fastest runner in my year, so would regularly be selected for the school team for inter-school competitions, etc. I have countless medals and ribbons from a variety of events, and these were never celebrated. My brother, however, didn't really find his calling when he was younger. He wasn't naturally athletic or overly talented at anything, really. He just wasn't that type of kid, I suppose.
Interesting. So even though you went out and did usually it's a flipped where the brother or the favorite child gets all the medals and stuff.
Yeah.
This is a little odd or I don't know.
Well, I think it's because OP has, more memories and the behavioral issues and stuff. Okay. And so he's not I feel like sometimes bad adoptive parents want kind of the blank slate child that they can mold and OP is a little bit less that.
Yeah.
My mom would go to all his events regardless of how small they were. She turned up to our first cross-country event at a new school, genuinely only to watch him. I won my race. He legitimately came last as he walked the whole lot because he couldn't be bothered. She didn't even see my race. She spent her time watching my brother instead. I was due to leave primary school, so every year the school put on a mini graduation ceremony for us so parents can come watch. We sang a song as a year group and then were brought on stage individually in an assembly hall so parents could take pictures. There was a slideshow in the background with a photo of the kid and what their future aspirations were. 99% of kids had their parents there standing up, taking photos when their child came on stage. I went on, and neither my mom or her partner were there.
Oh my gosh.
That's so sad. I wouldn't mind, but they had nothing on that evening. They lived 200 meters from the school. They sat at home to watch a film with my brother instead. They should not be parents. Anyway, a year goes by, and it's my brother's graduation. Guess what? They both turned up to his.
Of course they have to.
Of course, they's their little baby boy. My adoptive family has been witnessing the favoritism for many years, and it often caused some arguments, particularly between my nan and my mom. My mom's mother, obviously. I was very close with my nan until she passed. Ugh. She was my guardian in a lot of ways. I would stay at hers most weekends. I think she'd ask if I wanted to stay at hers just to get me away from my mom for a bit. I didn't realize that at the time. I used to get screamed at for everything as a kid. She was that lunatic mom you sometimes see at the grocery store, screaming at her kids for every minor infringement. When I turned 16, I started working full-time as an apprentice. That's when our relationship started reaching its boiling point. I'd ran away from home multiple times at this point, as she had been screaming at me about something minor, and I just had enough. Her brother would often take me in. He knew the whole story and sided with me on it. So she started threatening to kick me out. This went on for ages, as I just argued with her constantly because I simply didn't respect her anymore. She had spent a lifetime excluding me and neglecting me emotionally, and I didn't see her as a mom, more as an authority figure. She would tell her ex-husbands, who passed away, parents, constantly that she was going to kick me out, so I grew tired of the threats, and when I turned 17, I moved out and didn't tell any of my family. I stayed at my friend's in a tiny spare bedroom, until eventually my mom's brother found out and took me for lunch and told me that I would be moving in with him, as in his words, if you're going to be staying anywhere, it's going to be with family. Good on your mom's brother, because she sucks. I just don't understand why you adopt, why you
what's the thought process here?
You choose to have a child. That is so much more a choice than, having a kid biologically.
You know what probably happened?
What?
Hey, I'd like to have this kid. Oh,
Comes with this.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, but that's just crazy to me. It's like, if you're not ready to be a parent to both these kids, don't adopt them.
Yeah.
This caused a massive feud with my mom and my uncle, one that still hasn't healed. My mom accuses him and his wife of trying to steal me away from her, and they've done it my whole life, which isn't true. They would just come and take me out on weekends and stuff simply to give me some normality. I think a lot of it was orchestrated by my nan. Anyway, scroll forward 4 years. I hadn't spoken to my mom in that time. I'd settled down with my uncle and aunt and finally felt like I belonged somewhere.
Aw.
My mom suddenly got ill. And looked like she might not make it, so I decided to reach out and went to see her at hospital. We reconciled, but I really struggled to forgive her, as any time family was brought up in conversation, she would badmouth my uncle and aunt, bearing in mind they'd basically been my parents for the last 6 years. I didn't like hearing them being slandered when what my mom was saying was just nasty and untrue. She firmly believes, even to this day, that she was never in the wrong.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, your mom just is a terrible person. She just sucks. I'm glad that you have other people in this family that are looking out for you, though.
I'm afraid, because OP, you had to raise yourself. I'm also afraid that the brother didn't get much raising.
Well, what I'm sad about is that OP and his brother probably don't have a good relationship because of this favoritism.
Yeah.
Which is so not the brother's fault.
Yeah. Is this a girl or a boy?
I don't know. Here, I'll go
OP,
back.
what are you?
44. Doesn't say. It's from our subreddit.
I think it's a woman.
Daphne Blue.
Yeah, it's a woman. I knew it.
Okay, where was it?
But that is tough that your relationship rifted, because he kind of had to be the good brother to stay in the good graces of his parent.
It's not beneficial for either of you, their treatment. I tried to maintain a relationship with her for years after her brief illness, but it always felt forced. I was always made to feel like I was the one that owed her something. She would never message me or speak to me unless I physically went to her house to see her. To the main point, the last 2 years she has invited me via text to hers on Christmas Day. I have refused every time, as I would prefer to spend it with my aunt and uncle, whom I owe so much to, and to be honest, I see more as my parents. I feel loved there and comfortable, and I feel like that's an important thing to feel on Christmas Day. Last year, she invited me around, and I told her I wouldn't be going to hers, and she kicked off and started ripping into my aunt and uncle again, saying I always prioritize them over her, etc., etc. I ignored her and left it. I mean, she never prioritized you, so it's tough, you know?
Who would have known this would have been
Yeah.
the consequences of your actions?
Yeah, you don't owe this woman anything.
Christmas ghost.
Yeah. A year went, and I decided mid-year I was tired of trying to maintain a relationship with a woman who offered nothing positive to my life and refused to acknowledge her shortfalls as a parent. She legitimately hasn't messaged me on my birthday for the last 10 years.
Whoa.
I am her son, who she chose to adopt, whom she emotionally neglected for years, yet she expects me to come to hers on Christmas Day as if it's her God-given right?
Okay, so this is a guy.
Yes, son.
Dang, I was wrong about that. Everyone, this is a guy.
I mean, I've been saying they for most of it, but
I was keeping it safe too.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
His son.
Gosh, dude, you do not like this woman doesn't deserve your time
No.
at all.
You
And
don't owe her literally anything.
I'm glad you're realizing this now.
Yeah. I mean, you have the people in your life who care about you and have showed up for you.
Yeah.
And she's never once showed up for you and is now demanding, the emotional, like she's demanding your love and affection when she's given nothing back or nothing to earn it. So I sent her a very long, well-written message stating how I'd never been a priority of hers and how she has never shown any interest in my life at all, and I was tired of pretending like everything was okay. So after this, we literally didn't speak all year, and we made it to this Christmas just gone. And she invited me again, to which I refused. She invites me around mainly to save face in front of her ex-husband's parents, who are very prominent figures in my life. I am super close with my grandfather. Not technically my grandfather, as I've never even met his son, as he passed before we were adopted. But I do share his middle and last name, so it makes sense. By the way, you can share full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime. Share it with all your friends and family. There is a little bit left to this story. Do you have any final thoughts?
No, it's tricky. This woman likes to play politics and is using you.
Mm-hmm.
I think just hang out with uncle and auntie. They seem like a pretty vibey people.
I agree. Stay with those. Stay with them. My grandparents go to my mom's for Christmas Day every year, so I'm assuming she doesn't want to be hit with questions like, is OP coming around today at all? So she messaged me a week before Christmas and asked if I wanted to call around and get my presents off her. I never did go and get them and haven't spoken to her since. I feel bad in some ways that she made an effort to buy me a present, but it just feels so forced. Would you make an effort with someone who has neglected you for so long? I feel like I've tried for long enough, and I need to draw a line under it and cut her off. It's so hard when it's your mom, though I don't get why. Maybe a part of me is still seeking the validation she never gave me as a kid. Who knows? P.S. She only messaged me to collect my Christmas presents off her because when she tried to give them to my brother to give to me, he refused to take them and told her how crappy that was and that she needed to make an effort with me.
Nice.
Well, I'm glad that it seems like your brother's still cool,
He gets it.
which is great. I love that.
Yeah.
That's the end of that story.
Dude, I grew up seeing, this is so sad, but I grew up going to basketball games and these parents would always be like taking stats of their kid and everything.
Yeah.
So they had 3 kids. One was the oldest and then they had twins. And the oldest was the golden child. He's good at basketball. I'd
that's
love to play him in basketball again
Yeah.
right now. But anyways, he was always like, I think he dated my ex at one point.
Huh.
I don't know. But he was always like, parents loved him. And then the other 2, they're just kind of like, they show up, but they weren't as like involved.
Oh,
I was just like, dude, that's weird.
sad. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the twin brother was talking to my cousin, but then that didn't work out.
Well, anyway, that is the end of that story and the end of this episode. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
we love you.
And see you tomorrow.